we need to take care few things. Let's say you are completely new to the Java. Okay, so in that case we need to follow some steps. So first step is, okay, we need to install the JDK. Okay, so whatever version, or I can say the latest version. Okay, first step is install JDK. Second thing is we need to create the folder on drive, okay, to store the Java programs, right? Third thing, okay, we have to install the text text editor, okay, to write the code. Fourth one, once we install the text editor, we need to write the code in a text editor and save the file with class name as a file name with dot java extension. Okay, fifth one fifth one fifth one once we done this, the extension and all, okay, we need to go to command prompt in command prompt in program folder. Sixth one, we need to use java command to compile the Java source code. Okay, what is that? Java C Java C hello world dot Java. Okay, seven step. Once we compile, we need to use Java command with the source file name. Okay, but here no need to use the class file and enter. It will run the Java class file, okay, using this command. Got it? Now I will follow the same steps. Guys, are you able to hear me? This is
Yes, sir.
so
Yes,
you
sir.
guys, okay, we are on track, right? So this is my text editor. I'm using Linux machine. So on the Linux machine is automatically, like, by default it has that text pad or something. Okay, text editor. You can use any text editor. There are lot of text editors are available, but now I'm using my own. Okay, this one, text editor. Now I'll create the class file and we'll follow those steps. Okay, so let me save this in my folder. Where is it? Java new Java programs. Okay, I will add this one inside the Java program. I'll create the folder. Now, as and when you are writing the code or any class, you can put like public should be there. Okay, and class name hello world, right? World words, hello world, right? Now, when you are writing the code, you can just prompt this. Okay, you can add these curly braces at once, because later on, as and when your code is growing, you won't be able to find where is the error, because sometimes there are chances to miss that writing or ending curly braces. Okay, as and when we are inside that, we can use just tab. Now here I need to use the method public, okay, static void main. Inside the main, we need to pass the arguments array. I'll explain you what exactly the use of this and why we are using args. Okay, now writing, adding this, again entering, adding the tab, system dot out dot println. Okay, so here I'm adding message hello world. Now I'm saving this. Okay, hello world with Java extension. Okay, so guys, see here, as and when you are saving this file name and the class name should be the same, otherwise there will be difficulties to run this code. But I have made a mistake for this one, so I will remove that. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll copy this one, I mean, in a simple way, put here and adding dot Java extension. Okay, so this is good. Now what we did, this is already done from my side. The folder is already been created from my side. Install, that is already there. Okay, so we have started the step fourth. Write the code in text editor, save the file with class name as the file name. Okay, class name and file name both should be the same with java dot java extensions. Now go to the command. Okay, inside the folder, I can say inside the folder where your source file is present, right? Now this is the step. Okay, so where is my source folder? My source folder is here. Okay, I can see this file. Okay, now I'll open the command prompt from here directly. This is my command prompt. In Linux we can say terminal. Okay, inside this terminal, what we can do is I'll write the Java C and this hello world. Let's see, it should create the class file. Okay, fine. Now we have these two files. One is source file, another one is dot class file. Now we have to run the dot class file. How we can run? Using Java and the class file name. Okay, so here we shouldn't have to use the extension. We can just write here, and this is the run, right? Now, so whatever steps that we have added, so are we good? We use this one, right? So once we compile this using javac command, we'll have two files. Okay, so what are these two files? One is .java extension, and another file is Java plus file and source file. Okay, so this is one file. Once we do the javac, you will find the class, right? And Java hello world we use to enter, and then it will run that class files. Okay, so these are the steps. So now you understood, guys. Public, class, and how we are writing the code. I hope you understood. You have to open and curly bracket at the same time. You have to enter inside that, make a tab. After that, write the this method, because public static void method is the main method which is responsible to run your code or start the execution. Okay, Now inside that, I have added this open curly bracket, entered, then press this tab. Inside tab, I have written this, and don't forget to add the semicolon, because what semicolon says, semicolon means it is the termination of your code or the line of code. Okay, so this compiler or Java understand the semicolon as to end of this line. If you are not adding this, okay, and I'm saving, let's see what is the error that you can see. I will use this command compile. Okay, what it is saying, hello world.java. Okay, this is the line number, and what is the error, colon expected, and where it is expected, system.out.println hello world and the colon, this arrow, right? This error is perfectly saying that we need to add semicolon after this line. Okay, this is the one error that we are seeing. We can see now what I can do is I can add this one. Let's say I'm adding another statement like hello world, and my this is my first Java program, right? I have added another line, right? So again, I need to follow these two commands, because if you run the previous one, it won't be able to get the output of that. See, if I use the Java and hello world, because that Java class file is the different one, but I have added in a Java source file that is a new version. Okay, and we didn't compile. That's the reason we are getting the previous output. So in that case, what we can do is we have to compile it again. Let me move like this. Okay, so I have to compile it again. Java C, hello world. I have compiled. Okay. Then now I am running this. Now got it. The output is hello world and my first program. Okay. So these are the steps that we have followed. We install everything. Okay, so I'm considering these are the by default, those things are you are aware of. We have written the code in any editor. Okay, we have saved that file with the class name with .java extension. Okay, then we need to go to the command prompt where inside that folder where our source file is stored or a present. Okay, inside that we have to use Java C command and the source file name with .java extension. Once we enter that, it will compile. If something is wrong, it will shows the error. If nothing is there, it well good. Then we have the another file called hello world.class file. Okay, then if you wanted to run that Java class file, then we need to use Java with file name. And while running this, make sure that don't provide the extension. You have to provide the extension with Java C command, not with Java command, because this is the compilation and this is we are running this, right? So we followed this situation, or we followed this stage. We are very good enough uh, to understand or write this code. But now, yesterday we have seen that the JVM, how it works, the JVM, right? So we have written the code. Now we'll understand that how JVM works, or how back in the back end or behind the scene this process is happen, right? Theoretically we seen yesterday. Now we have to see how it works. Now we have two environments. Yesterday we have seen one is our compile time environment and another is our runtime environment. Okay, so what happens in compile time environment? We have Java source file, right? That is hello world.java, and this is our source code file. Once we use that Java C, right, it will create or it instruct to Java compiler. Okay, so read file at once and create or parse into the class file. Compilation means it is converting into high level to low level, because computer doesn't understand .java. Okay, it understand the byte level or byte code. So once we do that, it creates the byte code class file, right? So these steps we have found, right? This 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 process will happen using Java C. Java C means Java compiler. Okay, we are writing the Java C and the source file name, then it creates the byte code. So this is your compiling process. Okay, now what happens in the next step? Once we have a byte code, we are writing the command like Java and the class name. Okay, so what is next? Now, once we have a java.class file, Java bytecode moves locally or through network. So there are two ways to run. Either we can run that Java code locally, or either we can load or run that into network. But as of now, we are running this at our local. So this is the things is happening behind the scene. Java bytecode moves locally. We are moving it locally, right? So after that, we have a runtime environment. Okay, in the runtime environment, what happens? There is a class loader. Okay, that is another guy called class loader. What it does, it loads this class inside this, and it do the bytecode verification. Okay, because the compilation is happen when we are running this, it loads into the that JVM or Java runtime environment. It loads that class. Again, it loads some class library which is required to run this file. Okay, so there are so our program is very simple. That's the reason some of the things are not. But definitely by default, there are some other class or other libraries already been loaded to run this application. Let's say if I talk about this one, system.print.ln, from where it is coming, right? Because there is another library which is provided by JDK. Okay, so this function is already been written. So to include or to run this functionality, it uses the class libraries. It inside that. Okay, it add inside that. Okay, after that, once we load the class, once we have the class library, everything, then we do or it do the Java interpreter and just-in-time compiler. Now what is the role of these two? Java interpreter. So yesterday I told you that compilation happens once. It read the code once and convert into bytecode at once, but interpreter converts line by line. Okay, because that's why we say Java is compile and interpreter based language. It used both the techniques. Okay, so what happens inside this interpreter is, in Java interpreter, it whatever we have a bytecode or included library, it takes together or pulls together. Then once the verification is done, it provides the Java interpreter. Now reads line by line. Okay, now we have an interpreter. Then what is the need of just-in-time compiler? Okay, so what happens sometimes, there is a repeatable code in written in that class file. Repeatable code in the sense, let's say we have to print 1 to 100 and we are using for loop. If you are not aware of for loop, we'll explain in later on. Okay, so that is repetitive task, or there are some methods we are using multiple times. So instead of interpreting of that multiple times, it it moves that something like caching or memory inside this. Okay, as and when we are calling, it automatically converts for execution. Means repetitive task will be inside just in time compiler. just in time compiler, the repetitive task will be in just in time compiler. But if there is something line by line which is unique lines, those will be inside Java interpreter. Okay, so these guys help us to make the faster running faster, or maybe utilization of memory and all. Then once that is done, what happens? We have a runtime system, right? We have installed JDK. Inside the JDK, there is a runtime system. We called as JVM, Java Virtual Machine and Runtime. Once we everything is done, we push or it sends to the runtime system, and runtime system runs and provide the output, right? So we call it Java Virtual Machine. So this completely box is nothing but your Java Virtual Machine. Later on, there is another layer called our operating system, because this is installed on our operating system. This is installed on our operating system. That's reason we need JVM. So operating system can be anything. I'm using Linux, you guys are using Windows. So on top of operating system, it is installed the JVM. That's why we can say run Java write once, run anywhere. Once you write the code and compile it, you can run anywhere because you need JVM. JVM is not specific to the operating system. You can run that anywhere, because on any operating system, if you have JVM, you should be able to run that particular code. And later on, there is another layer called hardware, because we have like motherboard, then memory, RAM, processor. Okay, top up that, we install operating system. On the operating system, we have runtime, Java runtime system. On the runtime system, we load the classes and some libraries, right? Before that, we have a bytecode and we have a Java source code file. Means this is the programmer who writes the code. Then using Java, C, it compiles the code, convert into bytecode. Once we convert into bytecode, it we use the Java command for running your class file. It goes to the runtime environment. Okay, the runtime environment, and there are two boxes, class loader and class libraries. Class loader loads this class file and whatever supporting library is required, which loads from JRE, Java runtime environment, or JDK we can say. Then it verifies the bytecode verifier. Then it goes to JVM. Inside the JVM, there are three things. One is runtime system and interpreter and just in time. Interpreter reads or converts line by line, which is machine understandable or computer understandable, and just in time works as and when we have a repetitive task or the repetitive code. It saves into here, we can say cache memory or a temporary memory, whatever we can call. As and when we need that, it automatically use a runtime system to load these. Okay.